You are between the few women in Greece in high-level management, and you have that position the last 2.5 years. Have you faced stereotypical behavior in that time, and how did you confront it?
I don't think that I experienced, let's say, particularly strong stereotype in my role in the last couple of years. Of course, let's say, is it that I'm a little bit confronted with different style of management that can come with being a woman? And let's say, if I act and it comes naturally to me to be more, let's say, friendly, kind, sometimes showing more empathy toward the people, or more cooperative, this can sometimes turn to be interpreted as a sign of weakness, but at the same time, when I show strength or determination, the stereotype can pop in about the Iron Lady. So I think that in the reality of the business, no. I have to say that I have not faced particular obstacles in my role for being a woman here in Greece. There are these nuances, there are these, let's say, circumstances in which you think that, you know, sometimes you're played around a little bit in the way you behave, you are tested a bit. For me, the most important thing is not to listen and to continue to be just myself. I mean, everybody has his own leadership style, everybody acts and in a way it's more natural. And I don't think that in being a woman I need to pretend to be a man. So I'm sure that in the long run, being, let's say, genuine and being yourself with your differences pays, and people start respecting you for what you are.
What are the more important obstacles that a woman might face?
I don't think that being a woman creates more difficulties in terms of gaining respect. At the end, the respect comes with facts and comes with, let's say, coherence between what you say and what you do. Of course, whenever you are new in a new position, people, of course, test you, want to understand the way you are going to act. You gain really respect with your behavior, with your consistency and the facts. So having said that, as I said before, what can be a little bit tricky sometimes in a leadership role as a woman is that showing, let's say, more kindness, more respect toward people, using less the tone of power and more the tone of cooperation can be a bit misled and interpreted as weakness. But I think again is a false impression, and so the fact prove, let's say, that it's a different leadership style, but it's not a weakness. It's a way of achieving what you want through a different tone.
Some people believe that beauty and femininity is an obstacle. Other people believe that it is a push in a woman's career. What is the truth?
Well, first of all, I think the fact that we are discussing about, let's say, the role of aesthetic appearance in the success of a leader is per se a proof that there is still a lot of biases and that this is still a quite male-dominated industry. Because if we were many women in the room, we would not be discussing whether, let's say, in the boardroom, whether being more or less beauty influence the success. There is a very strong, let's say, bias, which is natural because we are all attracted by something which is beautiful. And I went to an exhibition here in Greece on Kallos where aesthetic beauty and moral beauties were put together. But when it comes to professional skill, there is really no connection between aesthetic and professional quality. And this should not be debated in a way. I heard recently that in a big conference about architects, someone was commenting on the good job of Zahara did, and a famous architect commented, yes, she's super as an architect, but she's very ugly. So even the fact that this may happen, again, proves that, let's say, there is an element of bias that accompany a role of a woman in business. Having said that, I think that is neither a pros nor a cons in the long run, because sometimes beauty may lead to be undervalued when it comes to business. Because there is this stereotype. At the same time, it may instead help because you are maybe better friendly received. But all in all, I think that what determine the success in the long run is certainly not the aesthetic appearance, but the quality, the professional skills.
How difficult is to be accepted in the energy market as a woman?
When I entered the energy market, it was in '97, so many years ago, I could say yes, there was a big, still a big higher obstacle for women in the energy market. Already there was a bias at the entrance, or at least the fact that less women were going through STEM studies, science, technology, engineering. So the group of women joining energy companies was already lower in comparison to the men, which is changing because we have many, many more, and it's important from when the girls are young that we promote STEM studies so that many more women can join businesses where you need to have a technical background.
You are from Italy and you are in Greece. You see differences in those two societies? Greece is more patriarchal and conservative, or they are the same?
Well, let's say both countries are Mediterranean countries in culture, so there are many similarities. I have to say I'm not so much into, let's say, the culture in terms of the life of, as you said, patriarchal or less, because I have not grown up with the Greek family. I have to say that in terms of, I perceive in the business world that still there is a bit the ideal of the boss, of the strong man, which is, you know, of course, in idealization, which is more conservative, and this, let's say, is more inclined, is more toward the strong man, the strong leader that exercise power instead of more cooperative, more, let's say. So when I look at this, I think in this respect, this individualistic idea of the leader, I believe in Italy we have made some step forward, more than in Greece, but all the things will come and will happen. I was reading this World Gender Index just to be prepared for another event, and I saw that on 146 countries, Italy is 63 in terms of parity, Greece is 100 in terms of gender parity. So yes, indeed, there is still a gap.
And an advice for young women that want to follow a path of top management or business world or energy world or any sector that is man's world even today?
Let's say, first of all, to keep insisting, let's say, keep really also pretending to be treated in an equal way. Stand up if they perceive that they are right, they are professional, their skills are not properly recognized. Sometimes we women have a little bit of the tendency not to ask, much less than men, ask a promotion, ask salary increases. We are a little bit shy in this respect. We always want to prove we always feel that we have to prove how much we are worth before feeling entitled to ask. So I believe that young ladies joining the industry sector need to feel, because they are entitled to be so, more self-confident. They are absolutely worth the same. And so they need to, at the same way, be able a little bit to ask, to pretend, to make sure that they are not left behind.